What is a thing that a lot of movies do that you absolutely hate? Male-led and female-led with no chemistry end up together. Just because. Over-explain the plot. Like a recap so you are not confused, usually accompanied by flashbacks you just saw, minutes ago. That every city movie nowadays is set up as the first part of a possible trilogy, making it non-committal and vague as a result. What happened? I don't know. Let's check on the news. Turns on TV. In perfect timing. If you are just joining us, here is the plot wrap-up of the thing that the heroes need to know. Cuts TV off immediately after important newscaster dialogue. In rom-coms, the two love interests are usually bad for each other. So, to make them seem less bad for each other, when they go through that period where they break up and try dating other people, the other people are the weirdest, most unlovable freaks anyone has ever laid eyes on. Men are instantly abusive. Women behave like spoiled children. It's the stupidest trope. I always notice unrealistic dialogue as exposition. Hello, my sister-in-law that I've known for the last 10 years after our stepfather died on Valentine's Day. How are you? Oh, I'm fine ever since your brother gave me that jewelry for my 10th anniversary that used to belong to your grandma that she got during World War II. It sure is a cloudy day. They hold supposedly full coffee cups like they are empty, always holding them at a tilt. I know they are just stage props, but they can at least act like there is coffee in their cups. Bad guys have horrible aim. Car keys. Hidden. Behind sun visor. When a character doesn't immediately explain what happened, to stop the conflict. Just let me explain. I swear that's not what happened. If you just let me finish, I'll tell you. Please. Just listen to shut up. Just say it. I didn't kill your insert familial person here. I tried to save them, but I was too late. When someone in the movie is using a computer, it makes all of these cheesy beep, boop, blip noises. When two people want to talk privately, instead of them going into the hallway, they make the other 20 people leave the room. When something is foreshadowed and then revealed later in the movie, but instead of just letting you realize it yourself, one of the characters say it out loud, like the audience is too dumb to make the connection. Biggest pet peeve is the fact that every comedy has to turn sad in a very cliché way halfway through the movie. It's the guy loses girl and has to win her back formula that's in every damn comedy. Excessive shaky cam. Whispered conversations followed by loud noises. The choreographed fights where the villains always attack one at a time. No recoil when firing a firearm. It's not really a big deal, but somehow, it just makes the scene feel off. Jump cuts in fight, action scenes. I think everyone can agree with me that you should never split up. After someone gets shot in the chest, they always stand up and triumphantly remove their jacket to reveal the bulletproof vest. The ominous noise that everyone uses when something bad is about to happen. So tired. Yellow filter when they enter Mexico. Cheap motivations to justify actions, and cheap shortcuts that are convenient to the plot. I will blow up the country because my cat died in a car accident. I will fight with an entire gang to save this random girl I met 10 minutes ago. I am being hunted by a mafia boss and his entire family? Nah, no need to call the law enforcement even if I have proof. This armed dude has been holding a bank hostage for 5 hours already while I prepare my plan? No law enforcers anywhere to be seen until the plot requires them to show up and either mess up the protagonist's plan or to be useless. When the FBI shows up to take over the case and then the cops butt heads with them. This does not happen. Cops are more than happy to let someone else do their work for them. Poor research. When a part of the plot is in a different country than the movie itself is from and they show a regional, cultural aspect of the visited country and fail. Don't they have Google? Unlimited ammunition and guns. Can the music and the dialogue be at the same volume level, please? Whenever I watch a blockbuster movie at home, I'm constantly adjusting the volume because the music is so frocking loud and then people start talking and I can't hear them. I have noticed in movies that involve a new house, it is often a surprise for all but the member of the family that apparently acquired or purchased it without any input from the rest of the family. Did the one person just buy it online or sneak away and just go through the purchase process and closing? The family pulls up to the house. Dad gets out and says, "Let's see the new house." Kids go run and pick their rooms and partner has never seen the house before. Why is this? It seems completely unrealistic and it bugs me every time. Have long-ass conversations while driving a car and the driver takes their eyes off the road for pretty much the entire time. When the protagonists happens upon a car and they check the tire or the sun visor and find the keys. Like, who the frock leaves car keys in the car? Edit. Well, if I did this where I live my car would be gone in 20 minutes 60 seconds. I've noticed this a lot more lately. The fact that horror movies are super dark. And I don't mean dark plot-wise. I mean dark in the sense that I can't see what the frock is going on. I get that horror is creepier at night, but how can I be scared when I can't see what's happening on the screen? An entire arc of the film has drama that is just based on a big misunderstanding or petty argument between two characters that is inevitably going to get resolved. The antagonist is often someone who is straight out evil and just likes to watch the world burn for no particular reason. At the end, right before they are defeated, they often act as if they've suddenly understood how horrible they were and regret everything they've done. Just some I can think of. 1. Male scientists are always crazy lunatics with wild hair. Female scientists are supermodels with glasses. 2. Calling someone on the phone, asking them out. They say yes and hang up without ever discussing the time and place, yet still coming at the same time at some restaurant or bar. 3. There's always an available parking spot where the protagonist must go. 4. Having a bite for breakfast and running out to work, school. Edit. Typo. If I kill you, I'd be just like you. Person who killed 0 people while holding Adolf Hitler at gunpoint. It irks me beyond measure that this scenario is evoked in hundreds of movies and none of them seem to care for nuance. Groceries. When a person has a paper bag full to the top of groceries, only to have the storyline have the person throw it or drop it. Full of food never ever to be picked up ever again. They don't do their research on anything. Laws, medical facts, technology, mechanical objects, conversation, and normal human behavior. It's a little bit mind-blowing that the highest paid actors in the world can't do a convincing portrayal of an ordinary person. When they make breakfast in the morning and they frocking leave in a hurry, barely touching the plate. Either pretending cell phones don't exist or making the weakest of excuses for why they can't be used. Just stop making your plots dependent on the idea that two people can't actually talk to each other if they want to. Main character getting knocked out cold with a hit to the head by the butt of a rifle, and then waking up in another area with no concussion or other physical consequences. It's such a lazy piece of screenwriting. Hacking. A complex security system in seconds. Normalize your goddamn volume. Directors. There's no frocking reason I should have to watch a movie with my remote in my hand for 2 hours. It's not the only reason I pirate everything not nailed to the floor, but it's up there. Unrealistic violence. People saying stuff that people in real life don't say. When they end the phone call without saying goodbye, they just hang up and the person on the other end completely understands that the conversation is over. Love triangles. Hate that sit. Quantum this. Quantum that. Like, they completely misuse the term and it really pisses me off. Anytime a phone number starts with 555, all I can hear is the Dave Chappelle bit explaining. You know why they do that? Because dumb motherfrockers leave the movie theater and call the number. Hello? Is this Indiana Jones? No asshole, that's not real. He don't exist. I think of it every time. It's hard to count the amount of movies that have so much potential and reel you in so hard in the first half hour, and then just roll over and die in predictability. Almost like fully realized thought is sacrificed for a $1 million money idea. I respect the movies that don't frock around and work out the kinks, even if it takes years of production. Earn it. We work hard for our dollars spent on seeing your film. Whenever there is a meeting in a movie, it's less than 2 minutes long. Maybe I'm jealous of how short they are, but it drives me nuts that someone would drive somewhere, find parking, and go sit in a conference room for something that would take 3 texts. I'll be right back. Like, no, you're gonna die, mate. When characters take forever to answer their door after the doorbell rings. In real life, the person at the door would either ring the doorbell again, knock on the door, or if it took long enough, assume the person is not home and leave. Hire significantly older actors to play young people's or even teenagers' parts, like the actresses for Jane Eyre always look to be in their 20s when she's supposed to be a teenager, or the opposite. Casting a middle-aged actress as old, like Kate Winslet, bring only 12 years older than her grown-up daughter in Mildred Pierce. I personally hate when people are playing the incorrect notes on instruments for the music that's being played. Have women always wear makeup, even when they wake up or come out of the shower? Making scenes really dark. I remember I went to the cinema to see Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince when it came out and I couldn't see for sit. Actors fall asleep after 6. They always skip the cleanup, which is disgusting. There's probably a better name for it. But I hate movies with fight scenes where the camera gets really shaky and just cuts from one person to another. I hate when kids' version of adult character has different eye color. When they create drama by not having characters explain themselves, when they easily could have. For example, "It's not what it looks like" situation. It could easily be explained away. But instead they let the other character walk away without trying to explain. That shit just annoys me. I have a few automatic weapons that go click 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 to show they are empty, weapons with no recoil, cups that are clearly empty, the professor, doctor, specialist that are top of their field when they are 22, and hot. Everyone can pick up a weapon and straight away be proficient if not an expert. Two characters casually talking and them cutting to them having sex. Not the movie itself, but a trailer that just shows way too much. Image of a bald eagle soaring over a desert. Then a red-tailed hawk call is dubbed over. The unnecessary kiss. If there's a boy and there's a girl, there will be a kiss. Doesn't matter if it's relevant to the plot or not. By end credits there will be lip lock. It's so fucking annoying. Best example I can think of right off the top of my head. Kylo Ren spends 3 movies trying to kill Rey and she still fucking kisses him. There's no reason for it, no justification. It's completely unnecessary and wholly unbelievable. I wish movies would fucking stop it. Unnecessary 6 scenes. I hate movies where henchmen seem to throw their lives away with 100% loyalty to an evil guy who treats them like poo. A desperate feeling guy enters the bathroom, turns on the faucet, splashes water on his face, then stares at himself in the mirror. Water still running. That the protagonist always has to do their big sorry speech in front of the whole office, restaurant, jobs, potential clients, press conference, busy street, random group of strangers, etc. I despise when a character doesn't get to explain their intentions so they seem like a bad guy. 1. Why did you do this thing? 2. Wait, ICA. 1. You're a horrible person. We're no longer friends. Walks out room. 2. Guess I'll have to explain my intentions a decade later during a heartfelt moment where I reconnect with my long-lost friend. The horses. Jesus, they always do something stupid with the horses. And I'm sure most people don't notice, but it just ruins the whole thing for me. Whether it's actors who can't ride, but then magically become gloriously talented in a stunt scene, reusing the same horse between different actors, or swapping out the horses for doubles during action scenes. There is always something. People who handle the horses used in movies must go crazy trying to deal with it, because they'd know exactly what's going to happen. Insert romance when it's not critical to the storyline and/or irrelevant to the genre. I avoid romance movies for a reason. Stop showing up in my sci-fi thrillers. Driving in a car but making direct eye contact with someone next to them and not paying attention to the road. So frustrating. Jump scares. Super extreme dark scenes where a candle magically illuminates perfectly only faces. Certain combat scenes. Whisper whisper silence whisper to X-fucking-plosions that can be heard from the ISS. I hate it when somebody is playing a video game and they're just mindlessly button mashing. That shit might have flown back in the days of N64, but it's 2021 FFS. When characters stop by to communicate something that could easily have been a text or phone call and makes no sense to stop by in person for except for plot purposes. I know it's not a movie, but the TV show Parenthood is the absolute worst for this. When the movie is heavily filtered with a color. While I have never been to India or Mexico, I know for a fact that everything is not yellow. That every action film has to be ironically humorous about it. They saw what the 90s and 2000s films were doing, and now think they're better than that because they're not going to be edgy. They're going to be relatable. Man, you gotta love the overpowered superhero who has a throwaway trait that's overwhelmingly human. Stuff like Face Off, The Crow, Blade, and The Matrix, as silly as they can be, are all clearly the byproduct of people who put a lot of passion and energy into something that they thought was cool. Guns and the way they're portrayed. The range master in me gets nervous. Stalking a girl will make her fall in love with you. It won't. Apartments in cities are brutally expensive. Most young people with even entry-level jobs won't get the giant loft or badass condo. In horror movies and they don't run away. It really pisses me off. Throw in a love interest. Any bar scene when someone just says, "I'll have a beer," or 2 beers. And the bartender wordlessly knows what they want, like, you could at least say give me the lager, or the porter or something like that. When there is a character that frocks everything up and gets other characters killed and then they face absolutely no consequences, it's usually a child character. Hate when a scene with a horse comes on and the horse is constantly whinnying or pawing the ground or something, even if nothing is happening. Horses don't neigh with every kick or pull on the reins. They might snort, huff, or shake their heads. But that's pretty much it. Horses aren't as vocal as movies think they are. Every gay movie ends sad.